value addition on NTIP forest product. Meaning of value addition. Okay, value addition refer to increase the existing value of product, also service through processing, and it involves changing the physical outlooks of produce to create an improved appearance or an entirely new product with better market appeals. And it is measured as the percentage increase in value from one stage to another, and it is the process of converting raw material into semi finished or finished product for marketing and wider. The World Health Assembly (WHA) has emphasized ensuring the quality of medicinal plant product through modern quality control techniques and suitable standard. And value addition is essential commercial exploitation and maintaining and exchanging medicinal value. And stage in value addition involves three major stages: post harvesting practice, processing for intermediate product, and production of consumer good. Value addition involves three major stages. कुन चाहिँ पोस्ट हार्भेस्टिङ प्र्याक्टिस, प्रोसेस, त्यसपछि त्यसलाई गर्नु पऱ्यो प्रोसेस फर इन्टरमिडिएट प्रोडक्ट र प्रोडक्सन अफ कन्ज्युमर गुड. एन्ड पोस्ट हार्भेस्टिङ प्र्याक्टिसको बारेमा दिस इज प्राइमरी स्टेज अफ भ्यालु एडिसन्स. मेजर एक्टिभिटी क्लिनिङ, ड्राइङ, सफा गर्ने, सुकाउने, ग्रेड गर्ने र प्याकेजिङ गर्ने. एट दिस स्टेज 20 देखि 30% भ्यालु क्यान बी एडेड थ्रु द ओरिजिनल प्राइस. त्यसपछि क्लिनिङ, रिमुभल अफ डार्ट, rotten part, stone and sand, wood chips, bark and twigs. It is in some case washing is done and ensure quality and reduce contamination. And drying भनेपछि reduce moisture content to below 10% भन्दा कम ल्याउने. insect attacks, prevent insect attack, fungal and bacteria rotting. मेथड चाहिँ सन ड्राई रुट, राइजोम, बाक, सेड ड्राइङ लिभ्स, फ्लावर, फ्रुट यील्डिङ इसेन्सियल ओइल, एन्ड कन्ट्रोल टेम्परेचर ड्युरिङ. एरोमेटिक प्लान्ट सुड बी सेडेड ड्राइड टु प्रिभेन्ट लस अफ इसेन्सियल ओइल्स. एन्ड ग्रेडिङ चाहिँ सेपरेसन अफ इन्फेरियर क्वालिटी फ्रम सुपेरियर क्वालिटी म्याटर रिक्वायर वेन product are collected from different area, and there are difference in appearance due to ultimately harvesting. and packaging को कुराहरू युजेस अफ क्लिन सक्स, पेपर, कार्टुन, प्लास्टिक ब्याग एन्ड सोलिड कन्टेनर, एन्ड proper tying or sealing in is necessary. Objective चाहिँ protection during transport, easy handling and market appeals. and processing for intermediate product हेर्ने हो भने involve separating active constitution, mechanical operation, chemical operation, र change raw material into extract oil and semi solid. value addition at this stage may increase 10 देखि 100 times compared to raw materials price. and processing method चाहिँ distillation for aromatic plant. most essential oil are obtained by still distillation under low pressure. and type of distillation हेर्ने हो भने हाइड्रो डिस्टिलेसन, विथ स्टिम डिस्टिलेसन, ड्राई स्टिम, हाइड्रो, विथ ड्राई र सोलर डिस्टिलेसन. हाइड्रो, विथ ड्राई, सोलर डिस्टिलेसन. एक्सट्र्याक्सन हेर्ने भनेपछि युज टु अब्टेन प्लान्ट एक्सट्र्याक्ट युजिङ सोल्भेन्ट. प्रडक्ट अफ कन्ज्युमर हेर्ने भने फाइनल स्टेज वेयर intermediate product are converted into powder, capsule, essential oil, herbal medicine, cosmetic, incense, and food surplus, and additional component for effective value addition भन्यो भने quality control, maintain safety standard, ensure product purity, build consumer trust, and assess large market. Quality control, maintain safety standard, ensure product purity, build consumer trust, and assess large market. Market research को कुरा गर्दाखेरि study consumer performance, identify market trend, and explore export opportunities. And branding and marketing हेर्ने हो भने develop product branding, use eco-friendly and attractive packaging, and promote product nationally and internationally. Sustainable harvesting हेर्ने हो भने sustainable practice, selective harvesting, seasonal restriction, and rotational harvesting. Sustainable practice and selective harvesting, seasonal restriction, and rotational harvesting. Community involvement, engage local communities, and promote responsible harvesting, and regulation and enforcement, and prevent over harvesting and control illegal trade. Research and development, study ecological, economic, and cultural aspect, develop new value added product, and promote cultivation to reduce pressure on wild resources. Policy and legal framework हेर्ने भने establish clear law and sustainable manage and trade regulation, product protect community right, and market access हेर्ने भने develop national and international market link, obtain certification such as organic, fair trade, and sustainable certification. You can see हामीले यसलाई फेरि हेर्दाखेरि एडिसनल कम्पोनेन्ट अफ इफेक्टिभ भ्यालु एडिसन क्वालिटी कन्ट्रोल गर्नु पर्यो. त्यसपछि मार्केट रिसर्च गरिसकेपछि ब्रान्डिङ एन्ड मार्केटिङ, त्यसपछि सस्टेनेबल हार्भेस्ट गर्नु पर्यो. सस्टेनेबल हार्भेस्ट भित्र सस्टेनेबल प्र्याक्टिस, कम्युनिटी इन्भल्भमेन्ट, रेगुलेसन एन्ड इन्फोर्समेन्ट, र त्यसपछि सस्टेनेबल हार्भेस्टिङ गरिसकेपछि रिसर्च एन्ड डेभलपमेन्ट गर्नु पर्यो, पोलिसी एन्ड लिगल फ्रेमवर्क, र मार्केट एसएस. कन्क्लुजन, भ्यालु एडिसन अफ एनटिएपी इन्हान्स इन इकोनोमिक भ्यालु, market competitiveness, and employment generation, rural livelihood, and biodiversity conservation. For value addition, ensure that Nepal can utilize it, reach biodiversity sustainability with while improving the national economy. Here is your content, rewrite it in clear, complete exam. As a current harvesting practice of MAP and NTIP in Nepal. Legal and institutional framework. Harvesting of medicinal and aromatic plant and NTIP is guided by Forest Act 2076 and Regulation 79. Approved forest management plan. Management plan determine annual allowable harvest quality, harvesting area, in some case specific harvesting rules, and limitation of existing practice हेर्ने हो भने may management plan do not include detailed harvesting rules for most specific species, lack proper resource inventory and specific research. Due to this, sustainable harvesting guidelines are often unclear and collection becomes unregulated in price and permit system for collection. And when application procedure, person is seeking to collect MAP and NTIP must submit an application to the divisional forest office and mention clearly species name, collection area, quality to be collected, and purpose of collection, location, use, and local use and trade export. Permit issue, if the requested species is not banned and it allow be regulate, therefore issue collection permit, and the permit include condition to be followed and harvesting rules if specified in management plan. Post collection procedure, after collection the DFO verified the quantity control. Quantity control collected matches it with the license quantity, collect royalty fee and prescribed in the gazetted, issue or release order for transport and export, and monitoring and ground royalty. Expected practice हेर्ने हो भने DF staff should inspect harvested material, ensure compliance with sustainable harvesting rules, and guide collector to prevent over exploitation. And actual practice हेर्ने हो भने monitoring is often weak or absent, and field level checking is minimal, and as a result over harvesting occurs. Unsustainable extraction practice are common, several valuable herb becoming depleted. and conclusion हेर्ने भने अब एकचोटि यसलाई फेरि हेर्दाखेरि हामीले चाहिँ legal current harvesting practice of MAP and NTAP in Nepal is legal and institutional framework, limitation of existing practice, पछि permit system for collection, त्यसपछि post collection procedure र monitoring and group royalty, group reality. And conclusion, although Nepal has a legal framework and permit system for harvesting MAP and NTAP, weak inventory data, lack of scientific harvesting guideline, and poor monitoring harvest result in overexploitation, resource depletion, and threat to biodiversity. Strengthening inventory research and monitoring system is essential for ensuring sustainable management of MAP and NTAP in Nepal. Current situation of harvesting practice of Nepal is general situation हेर्ने हो भने rural and remote communities of Nepal are highly dependent on NTAP collection of livelihood and sustainable. NTAP benefit local collector, trader and processing industries. More than 100 species of NTAP are commercially collected in Nepal. Medicinal use, aromatic and industrial product. Source of collection हेर्ने हो भने most NTAP are collected from the wild, and only a small proportion of species are cultivated on private land, and over 90% of commercial NTAP volume is harvested from natural forest. Around 80% of raw material used by company come from wild source. This indicates heavy pressure on natural ecosystems. Unsustainable and destructive practice over harvesting. Collection often exceeds sustainable limit, and high market price and urgent trade demand lead to uprooting of entire plant and collection beyond origination capacity. And exploitation has reached dangerous leaves for certain species. And unscientific harvesting method हेर्ने भने whole plant including root and species harvested before origination, harvesting before flowering or fruiting, and preventing next generation. And non-scientific estimation of sustained yield, no proper rotation harvesting system, and excess collection for easily accessible open SS area, and habitat degradation हेर्ने हो भने unmanaged grazing and trampling by livestock, heavy collection from ecologically sensitive or marginal area, and damage to surrounding vegetation and forest floor. Poor post and harvesting practice, improper cleaning, drying, grading, storage, quality deterioration due to poor handling, inconsistent supply of standard raw materials, and institutional and management weakness हेर्ने भने no proper supply management system, and lack of scientific inventory and data, weak monitoring and enforcement, inconsistent quality and scattered resource distribution. Nature of collection work. MAP collection is often considered a seasonal or leisure activity. Heavy However, some species require hard physical labor and collection in harsh and remote terrain in high quality. मेजर थ्रेट अफ टु सस्टेनेबल थ्रेट के छ सस्टेनेबलको भन्दाखेरि ओभर हार्भेस्टिङ हुन्छ र अर्ली हार्भेस्टिङ हुन्छ र डिस्ट्रक्टिभ अपरुटिङ एन्ड ल्याक अफ रोटेसनल हार्भेस्टिङ एन्ड विक मोनिटरिङ habitat degradation and absence of scientific management. Conclusion: the current harvesting practice of NTIP in Nepal is largely wide-based, unscientific and unsustainable, posing serious threat to biodiversity, long-term resource availability and livability security. Strengthening scientific harvesting method, monitoring, cultivation, promotion and value addition is essential for sustainable NTIP management. And here is त्यसपछि NTIP and map restricted for collection and export is in crude form हेर्ने हो भने legal provision of important NTIP and timber species in Nepal हेर्ने हो भने Forest Act 1976 2019, Law and Policy Governing NTIP Timber, Participatory Forest Management, okay, Participatory Forest Management, and Section 18, Community Forest Management. Community forest user group can manage, conserve and utilize forest product including NTIP as per approved work. And Section 23, Collaborative Forest Management, government plus local community manage forest resources jointly. Work plan mandatory. Collection, harvesting and sale must follow approved operational plan. Focus: Nepal promote participatory approach in NTIP management. And त्यसपछि कमर्सियल कलेक्सन एन्ड एक्सपोर्ट हेर्ने हो भने सेक्सन छ कमर्सियल कलेक्सन एन्ड एक्सपोर्ट अफ फरेस्ट प्रोडक्ट इन्क्लुडिङ एनटिआइपी फ्रम प्राइभेट फरेस्ट रिक्वायर एप्रुभल फ्रम concerned local level and approval from division of forest officer. And without approval, illegal activity. And offense and punishment हेर्ने भनेपछि 49मा define forest offense र section punishment: cutting plant in natural forest, trimming branch illegally, extract risk branch and illegally damaging tree, violating permit condition and exporting restricted NTIP, and fine, conviction and imprisonment. And punishment and provision 50मा provision depending on severity and power to impose restriction हेर्ने भने section र provision: government of Nepal may restrict collection, cutting and use. Section 77 हेर्ने भने transportation, sale, distribution, export of prescribed forest product including NTIP. Important: government of Nepal has authority to impose ban or restriction. NTIP restricted for collection and export in Chure crude form हेर्ने भने crude form, raw unprocessed form without value addition. Government restricted export of some high value medicinal plant to promote value addition with Nepal भने Nepal conservation and sustainable harvesting. Example often restricted in as per various notification: Ersaguma Ophiocordyceps sinensis, Jatamassi Nardostachys T. Jatamassi, पाँचौँले डाइक्टोराइजा एटाजिरिया एन्ड सुगन्धवाला र सर्पगन्धा होइन. अलवेज चेक लेटेस्ट गभर्मेन्ट नोटिफिकेसन फर अपडेट लिस्ट. एक्जाम में आस्क क्वेरी अथोरिटी नोट एक्ज्याक्ट नम्बर. प्रोटेक्टेड फ्लोरा स्पिसिस इन नेपाल है. डिपार्टमेन्ट अफ प्लान्ट रिसोर्स फरेस्ट एक्ट 2076. Certain plant species are fully protected. Collection prohibited, trade prohibited and export prohibited. Example of protected species होइन डाइक्टोराइजा हेटाजिरिया, जुगलान्जरेरिया, ट्याक्सस वालिचियाना, role via serpentine and SAP, Zamba. Protection aim biodiversity conservation, preventing over exploitation and meeting CITES obligation. Quick forest division. Forest Act 2076 promote primary participatory forest management. Section 30 approved but needed for private forest commercial export 49 defined forest offense and 50 punishment. 77 government power to restrict forest product and export of restricted and tap include farm offense and protected flora rural species list prepared by Department of Plant Resources and law and policy governing NTIP include okay Forest Act 2006 government conservation sustainable use and management enforcement include NTIP and timber forest regulation 2022 provision specific provision for collection transport and trade of forest product. Environmental Protection Act 2019 environmental impact assessment environmental impact assessment EIA may be required for commercial harvesting. EIA National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan emphasize conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity including NPIP. CITES Act 2017-2074 regulate international trade of endangered species listed under CITES. Plant protection and govern the movement and quarantine of plant product imported of NTIP and you can see ban for collection use and transport and trade है यो हेर्ने हो भने ban for collection use and transport collection गर्न पनि पाइदैन युज गर्न पनि पाइदैन र ट्रान्सपोर्ट गर्न पनि पाइदैन त्यस्ता स्पिसिसहरू दुईटा छन् अर्चिड द वालनट OW 5 औँले र ओखर 5वटा औँला र ओखर चाहिँ न त कलेक्सन गर्न पाउँछ न त प्रयोग गर्न पाउँछ न ट्रान्सपोर्ट गर्न पाउँछ न त ट्रेड गर्न पाउँछ हैन त्यसपछि ब्यान फर एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट आइडेन्टिफिकेसन एन्ड सर्टिफिकेसन हैन एक्सपोर्ट गर्न मिल्दैन पहिचान र प्रमाणपत्र बिना एक्सपोर्ट गर्न मिल्दैन भने कुटकी नतरी पायो भने कुटकी चाहिँ पर्दैन ब्यान फर एक्सपोर्ट आउटसाइड द कन्ट्री विदाउट प्रोसेसिङ हैन कन्ट्रीभन्दा बाहिर चाहिँ विभिन्न प्रोसेसिङ कामहरू नगरिकन चाहिँ बाहिर पठाउन विदेशमा पठाउन नमिल्ने चिजहरू तिनीहरू चाहिँ 7वटा छन् है त कलेक्सन युज एन्ड ट्रान्सपोर्टको एन्ड ट्रेडको लागि ब्यान गरेका 2टा एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट आइडेन्टिफिकेसन एन्ड सर्टिफिकेसन एउटा र एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट प्रोसेसिङ कन्ट्रीभन्दा बाहिर चाहिँ कति त 7वटा तिनलाई याद गरौँ 40 सुगन्धको गिल 40वटा सुगन्धको गिल सुगन्ध जटामा आउँदा 40वटा सुगन्ध जटामा आउँदा सर्पले लोथेर भलै बगाइदिएछ र पछि शिलाजितले बल्ल निको पारेछन् भन्ने कुरा 7वटा भयो ब्यान फर फिलिङ ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन एन्ड एक्सपोर्ट फर कमर्सियल पर्पज कुनै पनि कमर्सियल पर्पजलाई न त ढाल्न पाउँछ न ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन गर्न पाउँछ र एक्सपोर्ट गर्न पाउँछ त्यस्ताहरू चाहिँ 4वटा रहेछन् हुन्छ सती सालका 3वटा प्रजाति सती विजय र हैन साल सती विजय र ओखर न त काट्न पाउँछ, न त ट्रान्सपोर्ट गर्न पाउँछ, न एक्सपोर्ट गर्न पाउँछ। त्यसपछि एनटिआइपी मेडिसिनल एन्ड एरोमेटिक प्लान्ट बेस्ड अन इन्कम जेनेरेसन एक्टिभिटी इन्ट्रोडक्सन। एनटिआइपी फरेस्ट प्रोडक्ट अदर देन टिम्बर्स, मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट, मेडिसिनल के त मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट, एरोमेटिक प्लान्ट, फाइबर, रेजिन एन्ड स्पिसिस, स्पाइस। नेपाल has 700+ medicinal plant species, of which around 100+ are commercially traded. Major production area high hill, Himal, Ersaguma Kutki, and mid hill, Tarai, Chiraito, lemongrass and aloe vera. NTAP contribute significantly rural livelihood, employment generation and export earning, biodiversity conservation, and मेजर म्याप बेस्ड इन्कम जेनेरेसन एक्टिभिटी हेर्ने भने मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट कल्टिभेसन हैन, एक्जाम्पल एलोभेरा, टर्मेरिक, निम, चिराइतो, सर्पगन्धा। त्यसपछि स्केल स्मल होल्डर्स फार्मर, लिज होल्डर फार्मर, मार्केट लोकल, हर्बल, इन्डस्ट्रियल, फार्मा कम्पनीज एन्ड बेनिफिट चाहिँ reduce pressure on wildlife resource and promote commercial farming and domestication, and essential oil extraction हेर्ने हो भने plant use legume, lemongrass, citronella, eucalyptus and lavender. Method still distillation, hydro distillation, product essential oil, bio cosmetics, perfumery, aromatherapy industries. Example 100 kg lemon grasses, approximately 0.5 देखि 1 kg oil. 100 kg लेमन ग्रासबाट 0.5 देखि 1 kg oil आउँदो रहेछ। हाई भ्यालु oil भोलुम प्रडक्ट हुन्छ। एन्ड कलेक्सन अफ वाइल्ड मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट एर्सागुमा कॉर्डिसेप्स साइनेन्सिस, कुटकी जडामसी, हाई हिमाल माउन्टेन रिजन, rural collector and CFUG member, issue risk of over harvesting, needed sustainable harvesting guidelines, and Ayurvedic medicines production, small scale industries prepare churna, syrup and tablet oil, and based on traditional knowledge sold in Ayurvedic clinic, local market, herbal shops. Value addition increase income by 2 to 5 कति त 2 to 2 देखि 5 times, and dried herb and spice trade हेर्ने भने product use, cardamom, spice export crop, and cinnamon, culinary and medicinal, and timur हेर्ने भने spice and oil, and nettle, sisnu powder, fiber exported mainly to India, China, Europe. Incense sticks, agarbatti, high production, raw material, sandalwood powder, and juniper dhupi, producer, local artisan and women groups, market, religious site and domestic and export, strong linkage with religious tourism, herbal, cosmetics and personal care product हेर्ने भने herbal soap, shampoo, cream, face paste, essential oil based product, raw material, aloe vera, neem, tulsi, lemongrass oil, produced by cooperatives, small enterprise, community forest groups, contribution to rural economy कस्तो खालको भन्दा नि employment, seasonal and full time job, women participation, high involvement, export earning significant contribution, and poverty reduction, alternative livelihood source र conservation चाहिँ encourage sustainable harvesting and importance in promote green economy, promote गर्नु पर्यो ग्रिन इकोनोमी, support community forest and encourage value addition inside Nepal, reduce rural urban migration and enhance biodiversity conservation. And quick exam point चाहिँ Nepal has 700 plus map species, high value NTIP, Arsaguma Jatamasi Kutki, essential wild extraction, high value enterprise and NTIP support livelihood of rural and mountain communities. And value addition increase income significantly. Here is and त्यसपछि फरेस्ट बेस्ड इन्डस्ट्रिज इन नेपाल. फरेस्ट बेस्ड इन्डस्ट्रिज भन्नाले introduction and economic contribution. Forest resource contribution around 10% to Nepal GDP. MSFP 2013. Forest contribute 0.6 to Nepal GDP and 0.12 of total labor force employment FF 2014 अनुसार हैन. 0.6 चाहिँ नेशनल GDP and 0.1 लेबर फोर्स इम्प्लोइमेन्ट. फरेस्ट प्लस एग्रिकल्चर कन्ट्रिब्युट 30-40% of national GDP. And wood based industries generate around 80% of total forest sector revenue. And around 1,50,000 people are employed in wood based enterprise. Forest resource contribute through timber, firewood, NTIP and MAP, carbon trading, ecosystem service, forest based enterprise. And major forest product contribute to economy हेर्ने भने forest product type contribution basis, timber and fire harvesting revenue mainly Tarai region, and NTIP major income from mountain, and MAP high export value, timber sales generate greater revenue than NTIP. MOFSC data categorization of forest based enterprise in Nepal. Categorizing forest based enterprise are divided into informal enterprise, small family based low investment, and farm enterprise, community, private and partnerships consortium base. And most enterprise trades dried medicinal plant, mushroom, spice, health food and unprotected product. And type of forest based enterprise हेर्ने भने MAP based enterprise हेर्नु पर्यो. MAP based enterprise most potential sector and industry include plant use for pharmaceutical, dietary supplement and cosmetic, natural health product and culinary product. MAPs are the largest component of NTIP, major contribution to rural healthcare economy. And example herbal processing unit, essential for oil industries. त्यसपछि गएर आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन इन्डस्ट्रिज एन्ड वुड बेस फरेस्ट. त्यसपछि गएर चाहिँ include industrial using wood based forest product हेर्ने भने timber, firewood, wood product use wood type major wood, softwood हेर्ने भने furniture, decoratives, plywood, hardwood, construction, bridge and building, historical use for shipping, railway, roller, road, building, bridge, employs 1,50,000 individual, contribute 80% forest sector revenue. And agroforestry enterprise, cultivation under forest canopies, tea, coffee, cardamom, essential oil, crops, fruit and fodder tree plantation generate local employment, diversified income. फरेस्ट बेस्ड रिक्रिएसन इम्प्लोइमेन्ट हेर्ने भने इको होटेल टुरिज्म इन्डस्ट्रिज र रिक्रिएसनल पार्क एन्ड generate income through tourism, hospitality service, and payment for ecosystem service. Emerging sector where income is generated for clean water supply, carbon sequestration, recreation, and healthy environment. Clean water supply, carbon sequestration, recreation, and health environment, and important forest based enterprise. Example हेर्ने भने silk farming and processing, tea and coffee cultivation and processing, herbal cultivation and processing, beekeeping and honey production, floriculture, nursery business, bamboo and cane production, rubber farming, greenhouse operation, and vegetable seed production, tissue culture and plant breeding, seed processing, botanical garden management, and commercial cultivation of sugarcane, cotton, hemp, स्टिबिया, त्यसपछि जुट, कार्डामम, जिन्जर एन्ड saffron, and major constraint of forest based micro and small enterprise, quality certification problem, and lack of certification limit, export value addition, international competitiveness, product forest to sell raw material at low price, poor technical knowledge, weak cultivation techniques, improper harvesting and poor sustainable management, and weak processing meeting, and poor technology and infrastructure, lack of modern processing employment, limited adoption of improved technology, lack of local fabrication facilities, and limited market access, remote location, dependence on middlemen, improper marketing channel, primary collector get very small share of final price, policy and legal constitution constraint, complicated registration process, transport permit, bureaucratic procedure, weak supporting legal framework. We can see major constraint for forest based micro and small enterprise, quality certification and problem, poor technical knowledge, poor technology and infrastructure, limited market, and policy and legal constraint, and साथमा छ problem associated with NTIP based industry. Developing countries मा चाहिँ problem associated with NTIP based industries चाहिँ indiscriminate harvesting, poor post harvesting treatment, and lack of research on domestication, inefficient processing technique, poor quality control, and lack of RD, lack of downstream processing, lack of trained manpower, limited access to market technology information, and very important exam note हेर्ने भने forest contribute around 10% of GDP, wood-based enterprise generate 80% forest revenue, map most potential enterprise sector, major problem certification, technology, market access, policy barrier, timber revenue mainly from Tarai, NTIP mainly from mountains, and here is your त्यसपछि management है management, collection, processing and marketing of NTIP, value NTIP in Nepal, introduction. NTIP include medicinal plant, aromatic plant, fruit, nut, resin, fiber, handicraft materials. NTIP is rich in high value NTIP like Yarsagumba, Kutki, Jatamasi, Chiraito. NTIPs support livelihood of millions of rural peoples. Sustainable management is essential for biodiversity conservation, income generation, and long-term responsive resource available. Management is essential for biodiversity conservation, income generation, long-term resource availability. Management of high value NTIP, forest governance, guide by Forest Act 2076, regulation 979, community forest guide and community forestry CFUG manage NTIP under approved work plan, permit system control collection and export, and Nepal community forest program is equals to global model of participatory forest management. Resource assessment हेर्ने भने regular forest inventory and mapping NTIP risk area, estimate of standing stocks, annual allowable harvest, and monitoring ecological impact and prevent over harvesting and depletion. Biodiversity conservation, protect area and buffer zone, conserve and rare species, endangered maps, and promote ecosystem stability. An example, over harvesting of Jatamasi affect alpine ecosystems, and community participation, local communities involved in decision making, harvesting planning, and benefit sharing, and participatory forest management ensure quality ownership and sustainable use. And collection of high value timber, value map, traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge on harvesting season, maturity stage, and processing techniques, preserve cultural heritage and sustainability. And example, harvesting kutki after sitting, sustainable harvesting technique हेर्ने भने selective harvesting, avoid complete removal, selective harvesting हेर्ने भने avoid complete removal, rotational harvesting allow regeneration र partial root collection prevent plant death, avoid early harvesting ensure reproduction and prevent ecological damage. Seasonal planning, many NTIP are seasonal, harvested only during mature stage after seed dispersal and ensure regeneration. And example हेर्ने भने यार्सा गुम्बा, माजु चाहिँ माइजुले यार्सा गुम्बा र चिराइत आफ्टर फ्लोरिङ. अनि रेगुलेटरी कम्प्लेन्स हेर्ने भने कलेक्टर मस्ट obtain permit from DFO and follow quota system, pay royalty, and comply with transport and export rule, and illegal collection lead to penalty and conviction and legal action. जटिभिटी सङ्कलनदेखि प्रशोधनसम्मका चरणहरू हेरौँ. रिसोर्स आइडेन्टिफिकेसन एन्ड सर्वे पहिला, त्यसपछि कलेक्सन अफ एट प्रोपर म्याचुरिटी स्टेज, कलेक्सन एट प्रोपर म्याचुरिटी स्टेज. त्यसपछि क्लिनिङ एन्ड रिमुभल अफ इम्प्युरिटिज, क्लिनिङ एन्ड रिमुभल अफ इम्प्युरिटिज. प्रोपर ड्राइङ, सेडिङ, ड्राई प्रिफर्ड. त्यसपछि ग्रेडिङ एन्ड स्टोरेज, त्यसपछि ग्रेडिङ गर्नु पर्यो स्टोरेज. त्यसपछि प्याकेज, त्यसपछि स्टोरेज इन ड्राई भेन्टिलेटेड प्लेस, ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन विथ लिगल डकुमेन्ट र प्रोसेसिङ, ओइल एक्सट्र्याक्सन, पाउडर मेकिङ एन्ड मार्केट एन्ड एक्सपोर्टको कुराहरू. प्रोसेसिङ अफ हाई भ्यालु एनटिआइपी हेर्ने हो भने प्राइमरी प्रोसेसिङ, क्लिन गर्नु पर्यो, वासिङ हुनु पर्यो, ड्राइङ हुनु पर्यो, कटिङ र ग्रेडिङ डोन एट लोकल लेभल. सेकेन्डरी प्रोसेसिङमा चाहिँ ओइल एक्सट्र्याक्सन, लेमन ग्रास, युकालिप्टस ओइललाई एक्सट्र्याक्ट गर्नु पर्यो, पाउडर प्रिपरेसन, अमला र रेजिन एक्सट्र्याक्सन, हर्बल मेडिसिन प्रडक्सन गर्नु पर्यो. भ्यालु एडिसन इन्क्रिज 2 to 4 टाइम्स कम्पेयर टु र सेल. एन्ड अर्को छ पोस्ट हार्भेस्टिङको कुरा छ. प्रोपर ड्राइङ टु एभोइड फङ्गल एट्याक, proper drying to avoid fungal attack, moisture control, स्टोरेज इन मोइस्चर प्रुफ कन्टेनर र क्वालिटी कन्ट्रोल। इम्प्रोपर पोस्ट हार्भेस्टिङ हेर्ने भने क्वालिटी लस र लो प्राइस। एन्ड मार्केटिङ अफ हाई भ्यालु एनटिआइपी हेर्ने भने मार्केटिङ च्यानल हेर्ने भने पहिला कलेक्टरले कलेक्ट गर्छ, लोकल ट्रेडमा बिक्री गर्यो, त्यसपछि डिस्ट्रिक्ट ट्रेडमा बिक्री गरिसकेपछि नेसनल ट्रेडमा डिस्ट्रिक्ट गर्छ र त्यसपछि एक्सपोर्ट गर्छ र इन्टरनेसनल मार्केटमा जान्छ। कलेक्ट गर्छ कलेक्टरले लोकल ट्रेडमा देखि डिस्ट्रिक्टमा नेसनल ट्रेडरमा र एक्सपोर्ट गर्छ र इन्टरनेसनलमा। प्रब्लम टु मेनी मिडल म्यान रिड्युस चाहिँ कलेक्टर प्रफिट हो कि धेरै मान्छे बिचमा मिडल म्यान भएर रिड्युस कलेक्टर प्रफिट। डोमेस्टिक मार्केटको कुरा गर्ने हो भने आयुर्वेदिक इन्डस्ट्रिज, हर्बल कम्पनीज र कस्मेटिक इन्डस्ट्रिज र इसेन्सियल ओइल इन्डस्ट्रिज है। इन्टरनेसनल मार्केट गर्ने मेजर एक्सपोर्ट डेस्टिनेसन इन इन्डिया, चाइना एन्ड युरोप। हाई भ्यालु एक्सपोर्ट होइन आइटम एसा गुम्बा, जटा मसी र ओइल र चिराइतो र कुट्की। भ्यालु चेन इन्हान्समेन्ट हेर्ने भने लोकल प्रोसेसिङ युनिट, ब्रान्डिङ एन्ड प्याकेजिङ, सर्टिफिकेसन र अर्गानिक जिएमपी र कोअपरेटिभ्स मार्केटिङको कुराहरू। इन्क्रिज इन्कम एन्ड रिड्युस एक्सप्लोइटेसन होइन। मेजर च्यालेन्जहरू, अब हामीले च्यालेन्जहरू हेर्ने हो भने ओभर हार्भेस्टिङ, इलिगल ट्रेड, ल्याक अफ साइन्टिफिक इन्भेन्टरी, पोर प्रोसेसिङ टेक्नोलोजी, विक मार्केट इन्फर्मेसन, क्वालिटी सर्टिफिकेसन प्रब्लम, डिपेन्डेन्स अन मिडल म्यान। कि इक्जाम्पल पोइन्ट हेर्ने हो भने कम्युनिटी फरेस्ट प्लान्ट मेजर रोल्स, सस्टेनेबल हार्भेस्टिङ इज इक्वल्स टु सेलेक्टिभ प्लस रोटेसनल एन्ड सेलेक्टिभ प्लस चाहिँ रोटेसनल। एन्ड प्रोसेसिङ इन्सेन्टिभ हेर्ने भने भ्यालु होइन 2 to 5 टाइम्स र पर्मिट एन्ड रोयल्टी सिस्टम्स रेगुलेट कलेक्सन। मार्केटिङ चेन हेज मल्टिपल इन्टरमिडिएटर। बायोडाइभर्सिटी कन्जर्भेसन इज इसेन्सियल फर लङ टर्म सस्टेनेबिलिटी। एन्ड अब हेर्ने हो भने जडीबुटी सङ्कलनदेखि प्रशोधनसम्म केही चरणहरू। जडीबुटी प्रशोधन मुख्य दिशाहरू। जनरल पाथवे अफ म्याप्स, जडीबुटी म्याप, बाली सङ्कलन, हरियो काँचो, सरसफाइ, छनौट, सुकाउने, कोरा जडीबुटी। हामीले हेर्न साल भेन्टबाट एक्सट्रेन्ट विभिन्न चाहिँ यो माध्यमहरू छन् है। यो अलिकति हो छ। प्रोसेसिङ एक्सट्र्याक्सन एन्ड मार्केटिङ अफ एनटिआइपी नेपाल। प्रोसेसिङ गर्ने एक्सट्र्याक्सन अफ मार्केटिङ। इन्ट्रोडक्सन एनटिआइपी इज अल फरेस्ट प्रडक्ट एक्सपोर्ट टिपर, मेडिसिनल हर्ब, एरोमेटिक फ्रुट, नट, रेजिन, फाइबर, इसेन्सियल ओइल, फङ्गी, अर्नामेन्टल प्लान्ट। पर्पज अफ प्रोसेसिङ अफ एक्सट्र्याक्सन ट्रान्सफर्म र मेटेरियल इन्टु युजेबल अर भ्यालु एडेड प्रडक्ट एन्ड इन्क्रिज सेल्फ लाइफ, क्वालिटी एन्ड मार्केट भ्यालु, सपोर्ट रुरल लाइभलीहुड एन्ड इन्कम जेनेरेसन। प्रोसेसिङ हेर्ने हो भने यसको प्रोसेसिङ इन्भल्भ ट्रान्सफर्मिङ र एनटिआइपी इन्टु युजेबल अर भ्यालु एडेड फर्म। एन्ड general processing stage, cleaning and storing, cleaning and sorting, remove dirt, stones and twigs, rotten part. General processing stepहरू cleaning and storing, drying, reduce moisture to prevent spoilage. Method sunny drying, shade drying and solar and electric drying. Grading and classify based on size, color, quality and maturity. Grading हेर्ने भने grinding and pulverizing, convert dried material into powder, for herb, spice and root packaging, and use suitable material to prevent quality and increase market value है। स्टोरेज हेर्ने भने keep in clean, dry, pest free environment and maintain potency and prevent contamination and value addition, okay, herbal tea, oil, cream, cosmetic and food supplement processing based on plant type हेर्ने भने aromatic plant सुगन्धित जडीबुटी plant producing aromatic essential oil and processing method to extract hydro distillation, solvent extraction and fat extraction, hydro, solvent and fat extraction, detailed method explained in silviculture season 2, okay। medicinal plant ayurvedic biruwa plant for therapeutic use excluding aromatic oil, processing extraction involve separating active constitution using suitable solvent, common extraction method हेर्ने भने चाहिँ मेसिरेसन, सोकिङ, मेसिरेसन हुनु पर्यो पहिला, मेसिरेसन soaking plant material in solvent at room temperature, infusion steeping in hot water like herbal tea, percolation cold extraction solvent passes slowly through powder material, and digestion extraction with gentle heat over time, and अर्को छ decoction boiling plant part in water to extract compound, and hot continuous extraction select continuous extraction under heat, and aqueous alcoholic fermentation हेर्ने भने extracting compound by fermentation with water plus alcoholic, and extraction of NTIP हेर्ने भने extraction obtaining specific active component for medicinal, cosmetic and industrial use, common method essential oil extraction, solvent extraction or resin and gum tapping, latex collection and enzyme and alkaloid extraction, and essential oil extraction steams distillation or cold pressing, example lemongrass, eucalyptus, solvent extraction and use water, ethanol and alcohol, example herbal medicine and production, resin and gum tapping, collect exudate like pine resin, gum and arabic, latex collection from plant like rubber or medicinal species, enzyme and alkaloid extraction हेर्ने भने pharmaceutical compound isolated using advanced lab techniques, marketing of NTIP, market research, understand demand trend and consumer performance, target market, price and potential buyer, value chain development concept, producer, processor, trader and consumer, producer, processor, trader and consumer, strength market linkage, and promote entrepreneurships, enhance income and value capture along the chain, certification and labeling, increase market value and trust, organic certification, fair trade certification, geographical indication, GI, geographical indication, command premium, command premium price, market access, improve access for small scale and marginalized producer, infrastructure, market information, trade facilitation needed, promote equitable income distribution, and key point for लोकसेवा के कुरा झन् प्रोसेसिङको लागि, क्लिनिङ ड्राई ग्रेडिङ, प्याकेजिङ, स्टोरेज एन्ड भ्यालु एडिसन। यो चाहिँ भ्यालु एडिसन। एक्सट्र्याक्सन, हाइड्रो डिस्टिलेसन, सोल्भेन्ट एक्सट्र्याक्सन, डिकक्सन, सोइलेट, फर्मेन्टेसन। र एरोमेटिक एन्ड मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट चाहिँ ओइल एक्सट्र्याक्सन भेरियस एक्टिभ कम्पाउन्ड एक्सट्र्याक्सन। मार्केटिङ, मार्केट रिसर्च प्लस भ्यालु चेन प्लस सर्टिफिकेसन प्लस एसएस र अब्जेक्टिभ हेर्ने हो भने यसको सस्टेनेबल्ली इन्क्रिज क्वालिटी एन्ड सेल्फ लाइफ एन्ड इन्कम एन्ड प्रशोधनका विधिहरू, एक्सट्र्याक्सनका विधिहरू, एक्सट्र्याक्सन इन एक्विड सोल्भेन्ट, एक्सट्र्याक्सन इन organic solvent, extraction, distillation, extraction, machinery, percolation, digestion र hot continuous extraction र इन्फल्सन, सोल्भेन्टमा इन्फल्सन एन्ड डिकक्सन र डिस्टिलेसन एक्सट्र्याक्सन, वाटर एन्ड सोल डिस्टिलेसन र स्टिम डिस्टिलेसन है। अब छ भ्यालु चेन अफ एनटिआइपी एन्ड म्याप इन नेपाल। भ्यालु चेन अफ एनटिआइपी इन्भल्भ अ series of activity and process from the collection or extraction of this product from forest or other natural habitat to their final consumption or utilization. Collection and extraction, gathering or extraction of NTIP for natural resource, forest, grassland, wetland or other ecosystem. Method vary depending on the type of NTIP. Wild harvesting, control cultivation of farming and primary process हेर्ने भने activities to prepare NTIP for further use, cleaning, storage, grading and packaging. Simple value addition like drying or curing. Objective, enhance quality, value and marketability. Second, processing, further value addition through complex processing, extraction, distillation, refining and grinding. Manufacturing process to transfer raw or partially processed NTIP into finished or semi-finished product. Goal, higher value and utility. And packaging and labeling, product are packaged to meet market requirement and regulatory standard. Packaging protect good during storage, transportation and display. Label provides information on product specification, organic and sustainability certification, uses instruction. And marketing and distillation हेर्ने भने active include market research, product promotion and sale, establishing distribution channel. Product can be sold locally, regionally and globally. Channel, wholesaler, retailer, e-commerce platform or direct sale to consumer. And retailer and consumption हेर्ने भने consumer purchase NTIP for के त personal use or commercial application. Traditional medicines, cosmetic, food and beverage, handicraft, construction, energy and or industrial use. And actor assess the value chain हेर्ने भने local communities, collector, processor, trader, exporter and consumer. Possible intervention हेर्ने भने sustainable practice, fair trade practice, principle र certification system. Value addition हेर्ने भने definition, adding value to the produce and service through processing, producing either a new improved look or entirely new palatable product measured as percentage increase in value from one stage to another. Convert raw materials, semi-finished and finished product for marketing and wider use. Ensure quality of medicinal plant product using के त modern control र techniques and standard World Health Assembly essential for commercial exploitation and rationalizing retaining medicinal value of raw drug. Step in value addition, post harvesting practice, cleaning, drying, grading, packaging, processing for intermediate product, extraction, distillation, refining, production of consumer good, herbal tea, oil, cosmetic, food supplement. And we can see for species listed in CITES with their IUCN status and CITES हेर्ने भने बोटानिकल नेम 5 औँले 6वटालाई हेरौँ है त। 5 औँले 2 मा पर्छ, 5 औँले CITES 2 मा पर्छ र नार्दो जटामसी जटा चाहिँ भी जस्तै जटा IUCN मा पर्छ भी मा र राउल्फिया सर्प चाहिँ ई मा पर्छ ई सर्प IUCN ई मा पर्छ सर्प र दुईटा सर्प CITES मा पर्छन् मतलब 2 मा CITES सर्पगन्ध पर्छ। लोडसल्ला वालेचियाना 2 मा पर्छ सर्प जस्तै 2 मा पर्छ CITES को हैन। CITES को 2 मा पर्ने चाहिँ 5 वटा औँला सर्प र लोडसल्ला र खयर चाहिँ ट्री हो अर्थात् IUCN टी मा पर्छ थ्रेटेन्ड मा पर्छ र चाँप चाहिँ ई मा पर्छ सर्प जस्तै ई मा पर्छ IUCN चाँप हैन सर्प चाँप ई मा पर्छ। non-wood forest product is also known as a minor forest product. FAO define non-wood forest product as all good or of biological origin as well as service derived from forest or any land under similar use and exclude wood in all its form. There are more than 700 different species of medicinal and aromatic plant in Nepal. In vernacular Nepali language, all the non-timber forest products are termed jaributi. हैन the most common important नेपाली एनटिपी आर चिराइतो, कुटकी, जटामसी, बिकियार्सा, पाँचौले टिम्बर, टिमुर, मजिथु, तरुल, सर्प and high value एनटिपी आर फाउन्ड इन हाइजर अल्टिट्युड हैन। हाई भ्यालु एनटिपी चाहिँ हाइजर अल्टिट्युडमा पाउँछ, लो भ्यालु चाहिँ लो अल्टिट्युड बिलो 2000 मिटर भन्दा कम है। अर्गनाइजेसन विथ म्यान्डेट टु इस्यु permission for collection and trade of NWFP determined of forest and soil Department of Forest Soil Conservation. According to DFSC, 54 and NWFP non-wood forest product are listed as utilization. 54वटा चाहिँ NWFP रतन इन नेपाल oral derived from Malaya wood rattan. Rattan denotes a collective name of the climbing palm known as Lepidoscarioides. Lepidoscarioides पनि भन्छ। Rattan belong to family Palma. रत्न रत्ने चाहिँ पाल्पाको रत्ने पाल्मामा पर्छ and genus Calamus. It is evergreen and semi रतन चाहिँ evergreen पनि हुन्छ सेमी evergreen पनि हुन्छ found in mixed sal forest मा नेपाल. Natural habitat of rattan swamp water holes and swamp water hole मा पाउँछ. Rattan is propagated in seed and rhizome बाट रतन आउँछ. In ideal condition रतन म्याच्योर चाहिँ 7 देखि 20 वर्षमा चाहिँ हुन्छ रतन म्याच्योर. डायमिटर अफ म्याच्योर रतन भेराइज फ्रम 7 mm देखि 45 mm सम्म. Rattan is used for making excellent umbrella and walking sticks and religious use of rattan. Tying wooden part of machine drans Charot. Community based forest management in Nepal is concept of community based forest management. Origin चाहिँ 1970s. Government recognize a people oriented forest POF program, people oriented forestry shift to developmental people and service oriented approach. Definition: community based forest management, community oriented forest management where local user control, manage and utilize forest resources for their own benefit. POF, people oriented forestry, permits if local communities have access and benefit from forest resource, they act as responsible stewards, promote sustainable forest management and joint management by state, local community benefit both parties. Introduction 1995. Recognition: community based forest management is globally recognized as participatory and sustainable forest governance model. Key principle of CBFM. की प्रिन्सिपल हेरौँ सिपिएफएमका. डिसेन्ट्रलाइजेसन, कम्युनिटी इम्पावरमेन्ट र सस्टेनेबिलिटी. डिसेन्ट्रलाइजेसन, कम्युनिटी इन्भल्भमेन्ट एन्ड सस्टेनेबिलिटी. Forest management authority transferred from government to local user groups. Community empowerment, formation of community forest user group with right to manage, use and benefit for forest. Sustainability, balance forest conservation and livelihood, ecological, economic and social benefit. Equity and inclusion, equity पनि हुनु पर्यो, inclusion भन्नु पर्यो भने participations of women, marginalized groups and poor household in decision making and benefit sharing. Major modalities of community based forest management in Nepal. Community forestry, most widespread and successful. Forest handover to CFUG. CFUG prepared and implement operational plan for sustainable forest management. Leasehold forestry, target poor household, small degraded forest passage lead forest restoration and income generation. Collaborative forest management applied in large block of national forest, mainly Tarai. Joint management, government, community plus stakeholder. Religious forest handover to religious group. Monasteries for spiritual and cultural conservation. Buffer zone community forest around protected area managed by local people. Reduce processor on core zone and Chakla forest हेर्ने भने province manage block forest, distinct from community forest and govern scientifically. Exam: Samsargunj मधेवस ब्लक फरेस्ट, बाँके एरिया 2578 हेक्टर, 2578 हेक्टर. रोटेशनल हार्वेस्टिङ, साल रिजनेसन, जेनेरेट 107 मिलियन भन्दा बढी एनुअल एन्ड इम्प्लोइमेन्ट, सस्टेनेबल कन्जर्भेसन एन्ड इकोनोमिक बेनिफिट. फरेस्ट कन्जर्भेसन एरिया, स्पिसिस फरेस्ट एरिया विथ इन्भाइरोमेन्टल, साइन्टिफिक एन्ड कल्चरल सिग्निफिकेन्ट, म्यानेज बाई गभर्मेन्ट. एडभान्स एचिभमेन्ट अफ कम्युनिटी बेस्ड इन नेपाल हेर्ने भने 31,567 ग्रुप एन्ड कमिटी म्यानेजिङ फरेस्ट अन्डर CBFM. 31,567 ग्रुप. टोटल एरिया कभर्ड 3,31,80,966 31,80,966 हेक्टर, 48.12% of Nepal forest area. Direct benefits 23,10,100 2,36,06,800 people from चाहिँ 43,24,387 household. And we can see province community forestry, कोशी community forestry, कोशीमा community forestry कति छ सतासी हामीले हेर्न सक्छौँ कम्युनिटी बेस्ड फरेस्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट कोसीमा कति छ है। कोसीमा कति छ 3843 कोसीमा छ।